Quite right too. Rapturous applause for the Get Out and Grow crew, Anna and John in Devon in the UK. And our special guest this afternoon is there in also the three of you in Devon this afternoon with news of a special project. And we're going to do our best to help out our dear friend Dean, who started out with this on this project a couple of years ago now, I would say, and has been a visitor occasionally, an occasional visitor, like a rare bird popping in on his migratory path. To the air team studio, which morphed and evolved, grew into the fresh air team and the Get Out and Grow project, which is the Happy Homesteaders. It's quite complicated, isn't it? The Happy Homesteaders, anyway, on a Monday evening at 6:15 or a little bit later. Sorry about that. For the gardening Q&A, John, how are you this evening?
I am okay, very well, thank you. And in fact, as you say, we have a special guest in Dean Mottershead tonight, this evening, and he will be coming on at 6:30, so in about 10 minutes' time or so. And of course, Lee McGrady, our head gardener, is not here today because he's working still because he had a hold up with a delivery for whatever work he's doing. But anyway, yeah, so Dean's coming on to talk about a project to do with a outside break area and possibly how there might be gardening involved with that.
Yep, absolutely right. Really exciting, actually. A lovely challenge for us. Not just us three, and I'm sure when the head gardener takes a look at it on the replay, he'll have some suggestions too. But a lovely idea and a really nice invitation from Dean for us to get involved, and a really great project that he's working on, as John says, with us in about 10 minutes. Anna, how are you today?
Yeah, doing okay. I had a first week back last week, pretty much back in work mode after being at home for 2 weeks. So yes, getting back into the swing of things, and just enjoying the weather and been out and about a little bit today, and yes, keeping me going. So it's sort of pretty much as you were for me from last week, this week, and probably until I take a break, actually, which will be in a couple of weeks. So I'll be having a few days in Oakhampton soon. So
very nice. It's so much about Devon this evening and the southwest of the UK. Actually, and the southeast. We've got a picture in already from Andy Gilchrist, who's in with a "What's up?" from Andy Gilchrist over there. Thank you very much. Just joining us in between bouts of teaching, I think. T-Duck is in as well. Greetings, Gumper Gardeners. That's a nice way of putting it. That was a right old mouthful that I was delivering earlier on, wasn't it? That puts it very simply. The Gumper Gardeners here on expatsportugal.com with the gardening Q&A. A report about the Aloe Vera. We'll come back to that because I have some documentary evidence, photographic evidence of the excellent recovery, which you had a hand in, Anna. I think you are very modest about your gardening insight and skill. I think you helped that particular aloe vera, which we have a photo of, to recover. So we'll come back to that. Deagle's in as well. Evening, we had a great weekend of heavy rainfall all weekend in Belfast, approximately 1.25 inches of rain. I think it sounds like there might have been a bit more, or 11.4. I don't know. Can you clarify that for us, Deagles? Because you did tell me this morning. Sorry, I don't recall that. A lot went on this morning, didn't it? Much needed as a very dry 6 months, almost every month below average rainfall. So not dissimilar to Portugal. Wherever you are in the world, do give us a shout out from your part of the world. And if you've got any gardening questions, we will do our best to answer them. Even though we don't have the head gardener with us, we can carry them forward. But Anna and I and John will have a go at these. Anna Botar from Gogas. Gumpers, Gogas. You know who you are. Mark also here. Great news from you this morning, Mark. Take it easy, mate. Relax into this and just take it easy as though you're already in your homestead. Positive visualization of the future you would like to have in central Portugal, and we'll see what we can do to furnish that visually and horticulturally as well. Deagle saying, I went to the countryside last week, collected 9 ladybirds in a plastic container. Oh, a little trip to town for the ladybirds. Put them all into the greenhouse. They love green fly, so brought them home. For a party, I suppose, in the greenhouse, where they can have an all-they-can-eat buffet of green fly there. Cindy B. Botard, and fresh in from the fields, everybody. He's more of a Peaky Blinder than he is a Devon Bay, but you get the gist. He's been out and about, probably with a nice red neck from the sun. I've got some of that. I had a sunburn on Friday and added to it, extending the chicken coop this afternoon, freshing myself from the field, Gary, in a funny sort of way. Check your WhatsApp. That's always eerie when someone says that, isn't it? Phil Ruff's in, but that's all as well. Carl T-Duck says, I sent a couple of images of trees in the Dom Eduardo Park. I don't know what they are, but they're beautiful. Maybe we can identify those for you. Thank you. Lol, bet that isn't so fresh, Garvo. Heavily medicated here on Plague Quinta. So sorry to hear you're still not feeling well, Pete. Hopefully we can cheer you up this afternoon. And that's 1.25, I think, of rain. Not 11 inches of rain, because it's below average over there in Belfast. Thank you. I should have thought that through, shouldn't I, before I open my mouth? But how often do I do that? Let's face it. Okay, we have a few questions to get kicked off with, don't we, Anna? Let's go for it.
Yes, we had one in from Beverly, one of the members in the group, and this one comes with a picture as well, by the way. This one is, what is this vine that is growing around my apple tree? Is it okay, or should I dig it out? I wasn't sure if it was ivy at first.
Where's the picture? Where did the picture come in, Anna?
Have a look. I think it was in the week. I'm just going to track it down. I'd sent it.
If it's on the group, our Facebook group, it gives me a chance to pop over there and have a look at the link, which I can post for you, so other people can join the group. So let's come back to Beverly's question. I'll see if I can find that in the group. What's the next one?
The next one was from Alex, my aunt in Wiltshire, wondering which flowers last the longest in indoor flower displays.
Ooh, the ones, and off the top of my head, the ones that you put, is it lemonade into? They come with a feed, don't they, to make them last longer? And I think some people put lemonade in there, a little bit of sugar to keep them longer.
I'm thinking elderflowers.
Yeah, that's elderflower fizz kind of then, isn't it? And I think some people even put, is it paracetamol? But be careful with that sort of thing and leaving those sorts of things lying about. But that's not one for the hive mind in the group, isn't it? So we'll come back to that as well, to your aunt. But which flowers last longest indoors? I say lilies, but when they go, they go. Probably flowers, I hesitate to say this, but flowers that have been bred especially for being indoors rather than cut flowers, because I think they put chemicals and things into the mass-produced flowers for indoor consumption and domestic consumption to make them last longer. So it's very likely that although your little posy or your bouquet from your wildflowers along the lane or whatever might be very nice, they might only be good for a day or so, and then they start wilting. The ones that have been grown especially for the job might last a bit longer. That's my best guess at that. I'm sure others will have something to add to that. Next question, Anna. Oh, did you have something to say on that, Anna? Did you look into that yourself as well?
I don't think so. I was just having a look for the pictures for the next question, which or the other question, which I'll resend.
Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's move on to the questions we don't have pickies for, maybe, and I'll have a little rummage around in the group and see if I can find them for us. Oh, okay. Are you there, Anna?
Yeah, I think I've only got those two down so far, but I'll have a.
Okay, no worries. We will see what comes up. We'll see what comes up. We can always return to the questions after we've had a chat with the Dean Machine this evening. But I do want to feature this aloe vera plant, which you, as I said, had a hand in healing it. Matty's been sending me all sorts of weird pictures today. Something called a Kong, which you fill with peanut butter and give to a dog. Not appropriate at all by the look of it, but I'm sure appropriate in some circles, maybe in dog training circles. We had a picture of a very yellow, brown and dead-looking aloe vera plant a little while ago, didn't we? Lee wrote it off. Latest picture of this beauty is here now. Nothing brown, yellow, or anything about it now. Look at this specimen. What was it you said to Matty, Anna, to bring it back into this shape?
Looking at the original colour that it was, when I'm trying to remember the website now. I think it might have been actually on WikiHow or something like that. But when I looked at the original picture, it actually says that they suffer from sunburn, hence the colour. And it literally said just bring it into some shade. And yeah, I'll see if I can track down the article that I found. But yes, I think it was literally sort of in too much warmth than it could handle, I think. And it was yes, looking like it was really struggling, and the colour actually matched the picture that I found as well. So yes.
It was very funny. I think we made a few jokes last week about aloe vera getting sunburn. It's a bit like water being thirsty, isn't it? Aloe vera getting sunburn, because of course that's the very thing you can put on yourself, the gel inside the leaves when you are sunburnt. I'm struggling actually, Anna, to find the pictures that we or you were referring to ask the questions about the ivy. Oh no, I've got it now. I've actually found it. Problem is there are so many pictures and questions in the group. This is some way down in my scrolling, so I'm just going through them now. I'm going to save them. It looks like an apple tree to me, and not a vine, strangely enough. Or it might be the passion flower that seems to be growing through it. I don't know. I think Garvo might have something to say about this in Lee's absence. We've not got the easiest view of these particular or this particular vine. Got a great view of her apples, though. Okay, so thank you for your work on the aloe vera. Let's add these to the screen now and see if we can help at all with the vine for Beverly. Before we go to our guest, Dean, who's joining us with a special project that I'm hoping we can help with. Here's the picture then of the vine growing through an apple tree. The tendrils look a lot to me like a passion vine, I have to say, passion flower, passion fruit vine. I don't know if you'd agree, Anna. I'm sure you've grown passion on the project, the Hannah's project. We had passion flowers and passion vines there, didn't we? Do you recognise those little tendrils there? That the way it grabs hold of things.
I do. I know I have worked with some plants that have tendrils, I think, and yes, I know. I know you can slightly help them get started if they're not wanting to hang on to like a gardening cane or something. I do vaguely remember the tip of slightly touching the end of them, and it takes a few seconds, but they'll start to sort of realize that they've come into contact with something, and the tendrils will actually start to wrap around anything that they're next to, with a bit of encouragement. So yes, I don't know if that's something everyone knew, but in case
it looks to me, it's difficult to say, Beverly. I can't get close enough on that, but I just from the tendril pattern and the way it's grabbing hold of the apple tree there, and incidentally, here are the apples. Look at them apples, aren't they great? That Beverly's growing there in central Portugal. I don't think it's a problem as in you need to kill that vine. You need to separate it. And as Anna says there, have it grow somewhere else so that you can enjoy some passion fruit possibly from that tree. And the flowers, of course, from a passion flower. Absolutely beautiful. So I think that might be it. Try the app that we shared, one of the plant identification apps. Apparently new iPhones have got that built in. See if that's it. Have a look for yourself. Maybe look up passion vine, passion flower, passion fruit, and see if there's a leaf match there. Let's see what people are saying in the comments about the longest lasting flowers for use at home, and if they've recognized that vine there for Beverly. Thoughts on that? Oh, I think I need to go a bit deeper into. Look, we've had loads of questions in. We've got Garvo fresh in from the field. Thunderduck sent in a couple of images. Come back to those after we've spoken to Dean. Most fresh flowers. Thank you, Deagle. Thought others might be able to help here tonight in the absence of the head gardener. Brilliant thing about gardeners, and this is an answer to one of your questions during the week, Anna, is like about right answers about gardening. I think with gardening, there's no definitive kind of black and white right answers. A lot of it is opinion. A lot of it varies according to context and environment. So I think the important thing is the conversation, and that's what we have here every Monday evening. And Deagle's opinion on cut flowers, most fresh cut flowers in a vase, put a penny, a coin in there. Wonder why that is. Into the vase, water, then flowers. For some reason, it prolongs them. So there may be the water chemistry changes with the coin in there. Would that be a copper coin or a copper influence in there? Tulips, lilies, daffs, roses, mixed flowers, says Deagle. Thank you so much. Thoughts on that? As I heard, pruning should mostly be done in the winter. Thoughts? Can't help you there myself. Garvo's been on his field with some experience of pruning. Have you got anything to say on that, Anna?
I'm just trying to think, because I know some things. I know I've come across the term hard pruning, I think. So sometimes you have to cut something right back, and it looks a bit drastic, but it actually helps to revive the plant. I'm just trying to think of some examples off the top of my head, but yes.
If you remember, shout out. Chrysanthemum and carnations last well. Carnations, of course, most welcome and very important here in Portugal, especially the red ones. Dean's, look at this, John. Dean's suggestion for a house plant that will last quite a long time is a cactus. You think about cactuses, you don't know if it's dead, do you, for a long time? So in that way, it does last for a long time. I think we were talking about cut flowers there, Dean. We'll talk to you in just a moment. Is that Pete talking to Phil? That is certainly true of trees. Prune when dormant. Thank you, Pete, for that. Sharon H is in. Hello to you. Good evening, friends. Great to have you here. Sharon, got any pickies for us? Can't wait to get some fruit trees on the terrace, says Gary, who will be here soon in Portugal. How's it going, Gary? Dean, great shout. Plastic flowers also last particularly long. But are also vile. Not a cactus fan. Be careful when you sit down in a house full of cactuses. Good evening, fellow gardeners. Hi, Carl, Anna, and John from the OLP. And I'll need lots of advice on plant choice once we've landscaped that land. You will. I am staring at a passion fruit app now, and don't think that's one of them. Looks a tad like bindweed, but use the app. So bindweed or passion vine so far. Got a recommendation, says Phil, to prune critics. Prune critics, yes, always prune critics trees. Now, and water in the evening for 5 minutes a day seems in contrast to the prune well dormant. Prune citrus, not critics. There we go. So we'll leave that hanging there for a moment. Gardening answers is context, context, context. So true, Phil. Yes. And just finally on the comments now, before we say hello to Dean, and your introduction to the Dean machine, John. Bon dia, gardeners. Just checking in from Washington, D.C. Love to hear your advice and experiences. Fantastic. Let's go to that lovely man now, John.
Yes. Now, here we have a very interesting conversation about to start, because for the first time in a while, we have a guest, and that guest is Dean Mottershead. So, Dean, what is it you're going to be talking about today?
I think it's going to be a lot of different things. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. But, interesting sound effects.
Yes, there you
That's
go.
either the sea or a lot of people clapping.
It was like applause for you, my friend.
Was it? Okay.
Great to see
yes. So the reason this came up was because I asked a question a couple of weeks ago about a outdoor break area for the construction company I'm working for at the moment, and we're doing quite a lot. That's a before picture, by the way.
Thank you. We'll come back to that. We've got a scene to set here, haven't we? Did you want me to roll the VT now to put it in the biggest context here?
The VT?
The videotape?
Yes, if you don't mind.
It's I did say we're focusing a lot on Devon in the UK today. You three are from Devon,
yes.
of course.
Well, I'm working from Dawlish at the moment. Dawlish and Timoth.
And people may remember, certainly British people will remember, when the railway line was looking like it was falling into the sea. How long ago was that, Dean?
Well, that is actually part of the project that I'm working on at the moment. It's connected to that storm when part of Dawlish train station fell into the sea. Can I send you a picture of that, by the way?
Please do. Yeah, please do. And I think people did hear about this all around the world. So let's set it up. Big picture now. Do enjoy these long shots of the southwest of England, Devon and Dawlish in particular here. And we'll talk to Dean again after this. That's stunning and beautiful, isn't it? Now I can hear Lee saying in my head, "This is not a cooking show; it's a gardening show." And today, this is not a train spotting show; it's a gardening show. However, that does set the scene there. Beautiful rolling hills of Devon. Are you on top of the hill there? Is that where the site is in question?
Yes.
That's
So
that's
yeah.
your office. Your office is on top of that railway line.
Yes, basically.
Incredible. What's that? Just a bit of a shame there are hardly ever any trains running in the UK.
So, do you remember?
That's hard.
Well, there's quite a lot of trains going through there, especially
Pete
at the
said.
moment.
As Pete said, don't worry about it, Dean. Who also says it looks like a wonderful train journey. He's absolutely right. Tell us about that iconic line.
About the project a little bit.
Yes, please.
The line that we're working on, I sent those pictures, by the way. I'm not sure where the best place to send them to you at the moment is.
Oh, okay.
I send them to you on your Facebook.
Thank you very much. That'll go with the other 200 you sent me today, you rascal. But I'll see what I can do.
Right. So, at the moment, the line that was on the video there helps serve 50 towns and villages in Devon to the rest of the country. So it's of vital importance that line keeps open and keeps running for hopefully the next 100 years. And it is also quite historically important because that line was built by Isenard Kingdom Brunel.
Indeed, yes. And that would have pricked up the ears of Andy Gilchrist, who's an engineer, one of the great engineers of Great Britain, right, Isambard?
Probably the greatest.
The greatest. There you go. That's quite a claim. Fantastic.
Yeah, the man was amazing.
yes, indeed.
But perhaps his plan here was to have. Thank you. Yes, Dawlish Seawall. That's not far from where we are at the moment. There's also quite a lot work being done there, but that's very tangential to what we're talking about at the moment. Okay. So we did have 2 pictures of what the line looked like. That's after the storm.
Just destroyed, right? Destroyed. It fell. It just kind of dipped into the water. It was very, very dramatic. I was there in Devon at the time, Dean. Quite extraordinary. Yeah. And I've got another one to come as well. But Isambard would have been shocked to see that. I'm not sure this one's very big, but it'll give you the idea of how the sea bashes the line. Look at that. That was quite a shock to the people of that little part of it. Is that Dawlish, the village of Dawlish there?
Yeah, that is the village of Dawlish, yes.
Wow.
That's not far. That's probably only about 50 meters, maybe 100 meters from the train station.
Wow.
So, as you can see from that picture, the track is right next to the line. So, at the moment, part of my role is I'm an office administrator, but I also get very much involved in the community projects, as I always have done, and trying to reach out to local autistic and groups for people with learning disabilities to try and see if we can reach out to more people like myself that have autism and learning disabilities.
Terrific. You are a pillar of the community. What a lovely thing. IKB, look, that's how Andrew's referring to him. Isambard Kingdom Brunel built the modern world. That's also quite the greatest British engineer built the modern world. Look at this. He also had a fantastic range of millinery. What does that mean? And he worked up to 20 hours a day for most of his life. Do you know what? I went to the house he was supposed to retire to. He didn't make it, unfortunately. He probably worked too hard. A lovely house near Torquay.
Where he died at 49, wasn't he?
Yes, incredible. How much damage did those houses suffer, asked Matty. And who is IKB? So IKB is Isambard Kingdom Brunel, the greatest British engineer by some people's estimations here.
Allegedly.
How much fact check. How much damage did those houses suffer, Dean?
Well, altogether, I believe the damages came to several. At least, sorry, I'm struggling because I know that they'll want me to be correct, but I'm fairly confident in saying it was altogether. It's going to be several hundred million, including disruption to the line and repairs and stuff.
Yeah, into financial costs. But how many houses were affected in that?
along that road there,
Yeah.
I think there's about 10 or 12 houses along there, but it was more the effect through the Dawlish line. I mean, I remember thinking at the time, like, are we actually going to lose our access to the rail line, which would be cutting off our lifeline
Well, that's
to
right. That's
to the
right.
rest of the country. I mean,
Yes.
there's signs in Dawlish saying that to get to London, it used to take 3 days
Yep.
because you used to have to take boats to go over like some of the marshlands near Dawlish Warren. But
Yeah.
that's going back a little bit.
It is going back a little bit, isn't it? Probably to the 1950s. Only joking, 1850s, 1750s. But thank you for the questions, because we need to bring this back to gardening at some point, don't we? But look at this. He was only 5'3" tall, Isambard Kingdom Brunel, but with the top hat on, he was a 6-footer, wasn't he? Because he always used to wear the top hat and he smoked big cigars. Quite the character. Wow, very nice, says the OLP. How do you stop? Here's a technical question for you before we get into the gardening bit, Dean. How do you stop the track being washed away again?
Well, we're building a rockfall shelter here. This particular project is building a rockfall shelter. They're also doing pinning to try and stop the cliffside falling onto the track again. So in the video that we had earlier, it had a concept picture of what looks like a one end open tunnel, basically. It kind of looks a bit like a sea, like that. And the plan is that will stop rockfall. It has to be able to withstand 2-ton boulders potentially falling. It's got to be at least probably, maybe 2 or 3 dozen feet.
There's only 2 things that can do that: the Dean machine and that C-sectioned shelter.
I didn't fancy standing by the side of the railway and stopping the boulders, though, for the rest of my life. But
the boulder holder, but
the boulder holder.
Yes, hold on, concentrate. The section is going to be a canopy, so that you can still see the sea view. Because
yes, you will still be able to see the sea.
Not a tunnel, which is a real relief, because when you go from Torquay up London, as I think the Devonians say, you get that most beautiful view, and we don't want to lose that, do we? Because it is iconic.
No, it's the most iconic. It's one of the most iconic railway tracks in the whole of Europe, if not the world.
There you
go. My
go.
opinion again.
No, fair enough. We'll take without fact checking. We'll go with that. So millinery, of course, is hat making, and there was a reference to his stovepipe hats, his top hats. He was only 5 feet. He shrunk since we last mentioned him, so he could be Portuguese. He often sported an 8-inch top hat. Milliner is a hat maker, and Andrew Gilchrist, he's 5'3" in 3-inch heels. Not Andrew Gilchrist, but Isambard Kingdom Brunel. And the engineer is Isambard Kingdom Gilchrist says sheep piling into the seabed to protect the substrata is one of the approaches. I don't know if you'd agree, Dean. So the damage was caused by rockfall after rain, not the sea washing away the track.
No. There was 2 things happened. Yeah. The sea crashed into the sea wall in Dawlish and washed away some of the wall, as we saw in the pictures. But where I'm working at the moment, there's 2 projects happening at the same time.
Okay.
Also, so there was a mudslide that came down onto the track and blocked the way. Unfortunately, there is a picture of that, but I don't have it on my computer.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would show you.
I have it in the pile of pictures you sent me.
And unfortunately, my manager's got that one.
Okay, all right. So I'll do my best to share these chronologically. Anna, John, any questions for Dean so far? There he is in his work here.
This is my PPE.
Okay.
I was just going to say, what do you enjoy about the project the most?
I think I'm enjoying all of it, to be honest. I like the way that I've got a little bit of routine, but also, I'm doing a lot of different things as well. You can see behind me, I've got the community board here. So I'm helping organize some of the community stuff and fundraisers, etc. And we also we've got an electric van which we take to be cleaned by a local school for SEND children, so that they can use that community money so that they can take day trips out and stuff like that.
Oh, you're amazing, Dean, what you're doing there.
It is pretty amazing, yeah. And I'm a key part of the project, and It's all kind of like built on what I learned from Seal Hain in some ways. So
terrific. What your community building skills, community connection.
yeah.
Okay, and so another question, John. Sorry, did you want to ask Dean anything?
Yes. With all this community side of it, is there anything in terms of gardening with the community side at all?
We have done a little bit of gardening in Teignmouth Community School. We went there with about 5 or 6 of the guys, and we spent a day doing some gardening there to help them de-veg and get rid of the worst of the weeds. I think there's something being organised about getting some picnic tables brought down there, but I'm not 100% certain on that side.
All right, great questions. Thanks, John and Anna. So let's have a look then. Why did you send me this picture?
I believe we were comparing the slightly odd similarities between Trump and Bobo.
Well, it's a windy day in Devon. You're going to get that, aren't you? Let's be fair. To be fair to those two gentlemen. Okay, so long shot. That was the before picture, wasn't it? So this is the plot we're working with, and you've already begun. I can see there with a small citrus tree. Was that the first gesture?
The first thing we did was to put up the barrier around the parking spaces to make it into an outdoor breaking area, and then to move the expectant mothers spaces and the disabled parking space.
Oh, okay. How many expectant mothers do you get to that engineering site?
Well, we haven't had any yet, but
okay, just asking.
But the idea is to make it more. This is the project I'm on at the moment is trying to be an industry leader in being more accepting to all sorts of things. So we got female engineers working here. Obviously, bringing an autistic side of things to it.
It's not a visitor centre then. This is a place of work.
This is a place of work. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Well, so I'm told anyway.
Yes. I wonder how often they have to tell you that. Anyway, so these are the long shots of the. Oh, and here we go. We've got a couple of picnic tables have gone in at this stage as well. Yeah, and a little bit more foliage. So what did you do?
Well, I went to a local gardening centre, and we, with the AstroTurf, came from a local supplier that I believe was fairly local to the Devon area.
Yeah.
Actually, behind that bush on the left-hand side there, you can see that that is a recycled bit of old wood, but I've stuck to the side there so that the red currant and the black currants have got something to hold on to when they're growing.
Very innovative, and here they are. So we've got the red currants. That's red currants, is it? That you've
yeah, that's red currants. Yes. And that's the citrus bush again.
Put a citrus bush in there. There's a close-up, I think, of the citrus bush. Nice photos here. Thank you.
Yeah, got a good camera. Thanks to Mum and Dad.
Right.
Mum and Dad always liked giving me the latest gadgets, didn't they?
They did. They come in very useful here. So we've got some white carnations. You've got foliage, flowers, as well as edibles as well, right?
Yeah, they can be eaten, apparently.
What carnations?
I'm not exactly sure.
Right. Do check, folks, before you do that. Okay, there's your citrus tree.
Most things can be eaten in small quantities.
No, careful. These tomatoes here.
Yeah, the tomatoes.
Tomatoes, okay.
Tomatoes.
So proper job, tomatoes there. Lovely tomatoes. If you get too many tomatoes, you make tomato chutney.
We don't have any potatoes, though.
Okay, potatoes. Oh, and I've got some more long shots here.
Yeah,
so
that's
the long shot of the.
That is the coastal path from Dawlish to Holcombe.
Look at that, and with the lovely flowers in the foreground there. Another long shot. What's going on there?
That is from the Teignmouth Golf Club. The view from heading towards Dartmoor.
Devon is so green.
And that great. Is heading towards Sholdon from the Teignmouth Golf Club again.
Dean, are you standing on the golf course there?
We had a team building day at the golf course.
Fair enough. You weren't trespassing. I'm glad to hear. What's that man doing on the golf course? Get off here! Trespassing on the golf course at Teignmouth. So team build. Did it go well?
Yeah, it did go very well. I organised that too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's a lovely shot of your office. Is
Yeah.
that where you're sat now?
No, that's slightly further down the hill.
Okay.
That's more towards the Dawlish side, but that is part of the scaffolding to get down on the track again. You can see that there's an alternate path there for the constructors to head down the path, so they don't have to disturb the hikers.
So you had to make a path down there for this work to take place?
Yeah, there is already a path there that's been there for probably like the last 200 years, but there is some scaffolding so that we're going to head down there. Not easy going down there when you've got a giant bag of concrete, I tell you.
No. Is it big enough for a vehicle to go down?
No, that one isn't. Most of the large vehicles and stuff come on either at Newton Abbot or Exeter.
Okay, so it's going to be difficult for me to visit, but could Anna or John visit this place?
You'd be welcome to come visit if you want to.
Check it out. I dare, if I still lived in the UK, I'd definitely come and have a look. It's amazing. Okay, so we've had the long shot, and we've had some work taking place. So you've got a bit of astroturf in there, and somebody is starting drinking there already. Who is this?
Yeah, that's Wayne.
Right,
I asked him to be my model to demonstrate our
glamorous,
breakout area.
and he's like, he's got the barbecue sparked up as well.
He's got the barbecue going,
and a gin and tonic or something we can see there. So what can we? How can we help? What is it you need from us? What are the suggestions, or did you just want to show us your progress for now?
It's just the progress really, and to show you what we're doing, and to talk about. And if you wanted to, we could come back and talk about like the environmental side of things as well. Because I told you before that part of my role as well is to help try and make sure with concrete that we try and make sure that we don't have to do works twice.
Yes.
Because obviously that would be more damaging to the environment. So there are some other things that we could follow up about with environmental and community, which is very important.
I've got a feeling a few people who are watching today would like to see that. We've only got a couple of minutes to go. You are a legend.
I've been to Jack's Patch a couple of times to get things.
Okay. That's a suggestion from John. Go on, John.
I did think when you were talking about the local garden centre to Dawlish and Timoth that it would be Jack's Patch.
Strangely enough, our barbecue came from Jack's Patch.
Yeah. Other garden centres are available.
Yeah, well, allegedly.
Yeah.
No, I was very insistent on trying to, because there were other places we could have gone to. But I think trying to support local community and local businesses is very important. It's Otto Nurseries now.
Okay.
But they still go by Jack's Patch. It will always be Jack's Patch.
Jack's Patch forever. We've all been there, us Devonians, and certainly in that part of South Devon. Okay, so let's have a look at the final few comments before we finish today. Dean looks good in his PPE high vis. So thumbs up there. I agree, actually. I want a signed copy of this, Dean. That's terrific. Look at that. Your proper job, as you would say in Devon. And cousins. I don't know. Oh, are you a cousin of... Hey, Gilchrist, maybe a distant cousin of Isambard. I don't know. Oh, no, Trump and Boris are the poster boys. No, stop it, Pete. It's more like priority parking. Okay, priority parking in the visitor center.
Are we talking about them being cousins still, or?
I don't know. Should grow some lettuce there. So suggestions covered in. Should grow some lettuce, tomatoes, or spring onions to go with your lunch. Maybe some mint or lavender for some nice smells. You do like a nice
We do have a plan to be getting a greenhouse area and a bug hotel.
Oh, yes.
Insect friends.
Excellent stuff. So you can be bitten by bugs while you have your barbecue. Excellent. I do like a white carnation, and nasturtiums can be eaten. So there you go. Grow some nasturtiums. Very easy. They'll be happy on tarmac as well there. Carnations or danthus can be toxic to pests such as cats and dogs, says Simon, causing mild gastrointestinal distress if ingested and mild dermatitis if touched.
There's no dogs here.
Okay, no dogs on that site.
We do have a rare bird, though.
Really? What is it?
We have kestrels, and we have Cyril buntings.
Cyril Bunting, which sounds like a Labour MP from South Devon, isn't it? The Right Honourable Cyril
Bunting. He might be running for Tiverton at the moment.
John and Anna, it looks like a beautiful place for a picnic. So I think there's a party coming up. John, if you've got to go understood, nasturtiums as good as Gary says, sugarcoat the flowers and using leaves as the leaves in salad. Got a bit of an aphrodisiac in there too. Careful. Ciao, John. Thanks for being here. Pansies are violas, and violas are beautiful flowers to decorate a cake with white frosting. There you go, OLB. Beautiful for a garden party. And final comment from Pete, 3 peas in a pod. What do you mean they attract anthropoids like scorpions and centipedes that want to mate with you? That's not what he meant, and you know it, Pete. So, Dean, just to wrap up, and thank you so much for being here this evening. Dean Machine is here. Mrs. M wants to say hello to you, Dean Machine. Yes, congratulations on this fantastic project. You've done such a fabulous job, hasn't he, Anna?
Thank you. I'm very pleased
really
with
good.
it.
Any
Mum
more
and Dad
questions?
are doing very well too.
Good. Well,
I'm sure they would say hi.
Send them our best regards to Mr. and Mrs. M of your own there. Anna, any more questions?
Not on the message board that I've seen, but yeah, are there any plans there? Are there any future plans for what's coming up next?
The next big thing I've got planned personally at the moment is to try and do a fundraiser for the Royal Lifeboat Association.
You never stop, man. You never stop. And if you've got a link for it for the fundraiser, stick it in the Happy Homesteaders. You have our permission. We'd love to help you, given you're such a helpful person, just of service to the community, Dean. You're amazing.
Thank you.
And have a lovely day, says the OLP. Thanks to you all. Thanks, Dean. It's been a bit different today. We've seen the rolling hills of Devon. They are beautiful. This is where Anna and John tune in from every Monday, apart from the first Monday. So I don't think we'll be here next Monday. We'll be having a planning meeting. But otherwise, now, you've got the context, you've got the background of where they are. And our wonderful friend, it's lovely to have it's like getting the band back together, isn't it, for a gig? Dean, John, and Anna here, the original... going back a long way to Hannah's at Silhane, if anyone knows that. So, Dean, thank you very much. Pete agrees. Thank you for sharing, Dean. Great work you're doing there, and good luck with the lifeboat fundraiser, my friend.
Thank you. Hopefully see you again not too far off in the future.
Absolutely. You're always welcome here. You have a key to the studio. All the best to you and your colleagues and your family. Those other questions we didn't get round to, hopefully the head gardener won't be so pushed next week, and he'll be able to join us and answer all those questions we weren't able to get to. I will keep the photographs you sent in of poorly looking pepper plants. Thank you, Sharon H, for those. And to everyone else who sent in photos, we will share those with Lee, and we will get back to you on those next week. Thank you so much. Anna, a final word from you. Did you want to say anything about questions or the group or anything like that?
I'm trying to think. I think I had a whole load of questions, but just keep sending any questions in and any ideas for live streams and everything. And I'll keep on checking on it as much as I can. And yes, any ideas are welcome.
Anna, you do a cracking job as well throughout the week, asking for people's questions and making sure we get them all on a Monday evening. Thank you to you, Anna. Thank you to you, Dean. And thanks to everybody who tuned in. That'll be it for this week. We'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao.